Welcome back to another video of the Husker Breakdown. So, in today's video, I am going to be evaluating Matt Rhule, and also, before we actually evaluate him, I want to express my joy that Brendan Sorsby is no longer playing for Texas Tech. He is banned from college football. He is going to the supplemental NFL draft, and that makes me happy. And the reason why it does, it's not that I wish him evil. It's not that I want Texas Tech to be bad, although I guess I don't. I'm indifferent. But the point is, I don't want to wish evil on Sorsby. But, I mean, to blatantly gamble and think he can only get a 2-game suspension, I mean, what does that show on college football? And that makes the NCAA look bad. And with all those teams not wanting to play Texas Tech, that kind of opened the eyes of the NCAA and also Texas Tech. So, very glad that happened. I mean, it definitely needed to happen. I mean, you don't just gamble on your team and expect to get away with it. That's just ludicrous. That's not justice. That's injustice. So, very glad that happened. But anyway, now the point. I wanted to evaluate Matt Rhule because we're entering year 4 with Matt Rhule, and we are on 19-19. That's equal to Mike Riley. Now, granted, Mike Riley did inherit a good football program from Bo Pelini, and he kind of squandered it. Matt Rhule inherited a terrible football program, and that was from Scott Frost, obviously, and he's 19-19. Now, the Big Ten is also a lot harder than when Mike Riley was there. So, those are true facts I wanted to point out, and so let's just get straight into it. So, let's first start with what Matt Rhule has accomplished. And what Matt Rhule has accomplished, he's gotten us to 2 bowl games, Pinstripe Bowl, Las Vegas Bowl. He got us a bowl win, obviously the Pinstripe Bowl. We beat Boston College. He's also gotten us 2 winning records, albeit very slight winning records, 2024 and 2025, 7-6 apiece. He also has increased our regular season win total each season by 1 win. 5-7 in 2023, 6-6 in 2024, limp to a bowl game, 7-5 in 2025. And actually, we were 7-3 even when we had beaten UCLA. We just lost the last 3 games of the year. He's also, improved our conference win since 2024 because we went 3-6 the first 2 years, and then we went 4-5. So maybe this year we'll have a winning record. So he has accomplished those things. He's also, he improved our special teams. We had the best rush defense in the Cornhusker history since joining the Big Ten in 2023. So that is the fact that very good to note because he has done some impressive things. Like I said, he got us to a bowl game. I mentioned that already, but he broke a 7-year drought, which was literally an abomination to Nebraska football because we used to never miss bowl games back in the glory days. So that is what he has been able to do well. Now let's look at what he's not been able to do well. And now a couple of these things don't, in my opinion, mean a whole lot because, not every good coach makes it to the college football playoffs, but let's just start with that. He's not been able to get Nebraska to the college football playoffs. No shocker. That's a hard thing to do. I'm not going to hold that against him because, to take a terrible Scott Frost Husker team to get it to the playoffs in 3 years, that would be insane. Because that really is a good coach. Cignetti, I know that's what you guys might be thinking of when I, saying, why, well, Cignetti was able to take a Tom Allen Hoosiers team and get them to the playoffs in 1 year. Cignetti and Indiana are an exception to the rule, as most people would agree with me. Also, Matt Rhule has not made he's not been able to get a Big Ten championship win, a conference championship. He's not even made an appearance there, but that's a very hard thing to do, especially with 18 teams. Nothing like the Legends and Leaders divisions like it was when we had 12 teams back in 2012 when we won it, and we got blasted by Wisconsin. But I digress. He's also, and this is the kicker, he's not got us any ranked wins. No top 25 wins. And he's 0-11 against ranked wins. His only 2 ranked wins in his college football career are against, I believe, Navy was one of their 2. They weren't even Power 5 ranked teams. There was Navy, and then I can't remember. I think it was Central Florida, but that was before they joined the Big 12. So yeah, I think it must have been when he was at Temple or something like that. So that's a fact to point out. So then they are not very impressive ranked wins at that. Okay, so that's the truth. In my opinion, another stinky one, he's not been able to beat Iowa. That's just the truth. He's not really pulled a good upset yet, which that would fall into the category of ranked wins, but that's just kind of a subcategory. of that hierarchy. He's also not been able to get us to, I mean, we haven't been able to beat like Illinois at home. That's not a big rivalry. That's not a big deal. That's something I noted. We have not beaten them at home since 2018. And two more good things he has done. We beat Colorado with them for the first time. That was 2024. That was the first time we had beaten Colorado since 2010, the last year in the Big 12. And then we also beat Wisconsin and got the Freedom Trophy. 2 rivalry wins that we had not gotten in a long time. In fact, actually, Wisconsin was the first time we'd even won that trophy because they started it in 2014. We beat them once in the Big 10 in 2012. But they did not start the Freedom Trophy until 2014, and that game was an abomination, a terrible game. But anyway, I digress again. We beat Wisconsin. That's a good thing Matt Rhule's done. He has done good things. He's like incrementally, slowly improving us. And the Big Ten is hard, so I'm not trying to sit here and diss on Rhule. Like, he's done a lot of good things. But that being said, no ranked wins, and he's had multiple chances, 11 chances, and there are many of those games that Nebraska should have won. There's no doubt about that. I mean, now the USC game, I think Nebraska would have won that game had Rhule not gotten injured. But, I mean, still, a loss is a loss. Our defense can save us like it used to. And that's just the truth. So, the reason why I think Rhule has not been able to get ranked wins, in my opinion, this is just a little pit stop of where I'm going with this conversation, is I think it's honestly a lot of, like, the psychology of the Nebraska. Like, ever since Riley came and screwed things over, I mean, look how bad Nebraska's been. I mean, we have not been a ranked team since Riley's 2016 season. And we don't even actually give Mike Riley that credit, in my opinion. We give Bo Pelini that credit because that was the last trace of the good Husker competitiveness, and even then it was still not that great. Rhule, compared to some other Big Ten opponents that are very similar to Nebraska, has not been able to get any ranked wins since. I mean, he's not broken that streak. And I think we have the worst ranked losing streak since, second only to Rutgers. That's embarrassing to me, okay? But now I want to compare, like, Matt Rhule, and this isn't meant to diss on him, this is just the facts, I'm just calling them as I see them. Let's compare him to a couple other Big Ten opponents' coaches that have been able to get ranked wins. So number one, let's start with Bret Bielema. He's at Illinois. Illinois was absolute dog crap when he got to coach them. Lovie Smith was a joke. He's worse than Scott Frost, and that is saying something. He has gotten them multiple ranked wins. And a really impressive one was when they beat South Carolina in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. They upset them without Pat Bryant to get a 10-3 record in 2024. They were good. In the last 2 seasons since the realignment of the conference, I believe Bielema has gone 19-7 compared to Rhule's 14-12. He's had multiple ranked wins. Remember, Bielema came to Lincoln 2024. They beat us in overtime. We were ranked 22, and they beat us. They've had other ranked wins. I mean, the Illinois has been a good team since Bielema got there. I mean, they were good in 2022 also. I mean, they weren't as good, though, as they have been these last couple years. Let's even compare him to Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell, although he's had 2 losing seasons out of his 3 at Wisconsin, he upset Washington and Illinois last year at home. He beat both of those teams. That's 2 ranked wins. And they were 4-8. You'd think a 7-6 Nebraska could do that. Nope. We could even compare him to... Actually, no. Let's reverse the clock a little bit. Purdue's Jeff Brom. Okay? Now, this is before the conference realignment, but still, this is impressive. Purdue, remember, Jeff Brom, 6-year contract with Purdue. Purdue was competitive with Jeff Brom, and he inherited a Darrell Hazel Boilermaker team, which we all know how good Darrell Hazel was. Jeff Brom was able to get upsets against top 5 teams. I mean, against Iowa, and he didn't just squeak them. He would beat them by double digits. Like Ohio State, I believe they beat him 49 to or 29 to 40 or something like that. They beat Michigan State. They beat Iowa. They did it multiple times. They also beat Minnesota when Minnesota was actually good, really good in 2020, 2021. They were a good team. Purdue was competitive. I mean, and that's just the facts. Now, obviously, that's before the conference realignment, but still, the facts still stand. And Purdue has only won 3 games in the last 2 years. They've won 7 games in the last, they've won 3 games in the last 2 years, 7 games in the last 3 years. So they've gone 7-8 they've won 7, and let me just do that math real quick because it's crazy, the number. 7-29 in the last 3 years since Ryan Walters got there and since Brahms left. That's how bad they've been. They've gone 7-29. Okay, no, that's just the facts. So back to Matt Rhule. No ranked wins, many opportunities, and still here we stand, 0-11 under Matt Rhule with ranked wins. Okay, and real quickly here, let's just look at each of the ranked losses. I'm not going to remember all of them off the top of my head. I'm just going to list a couple of them to show how close we were to getting a ranked win under our belt. Go to his first year. We wouldn't have beaten Michigan. They were a very good team that year. But Iowa, we lost to them 13-10 right in Memorial Stadium. We should have beaten them. We had the ball, 20 seconds left. We had just gotten a pick. And what did Purdy do? He threw a nice game-stealing pick. Let's go to the next year. Who did we lose to? Illinois. We had the lead against Illinois. We should have beaten them, but literally because they tied it, everyone knew what was going to happen because the psychology of just being close in the fourth quarter just doesn't work. And also overtime, for some reason, scared Nebraska. Because we haven't won in overtime or even scored in overtime since Pelini when we won against Iowa in 2014. Lost to Illinois. Indiana, we got absolutely demolished. Wasn't going to hold that against them. They're a good team, and they ended up being like ranked 8th. Ohio State, we had the lead 17-14. We should have won them now, or should have beaten them. Now, they were very good. Ohio State always pretty darn good. But still, I mean, we were this close. This close to beating the Buckeyes, and that was a very impressive game. And then we go again. I mean, I believe that was the last ranked win or ranked game we played. Let's see. Yeah, it would have been those 3. 0-5. There. So I guess he can't be 0-11. Maybe he's 0-8. I guess I did my math wrong. My bad. Maybe that's right actually. Because let's see. Then he would have lost to USC last year, 17-21, or Michigan, 27-30. I mean, that's 2 ranked games that Nebraska should have had. And then we obviously got blown out by Utah to finish the year. And so we went 0-8. That's what it is, not 0-11. I'm sorry, guys, not 0-11. I meant 0-8. So, still, Nebraska has not been able to get a ranked win in all 11 of those chances. And honestly, in all honesty, I mean, Nebraska actually was competitive in most of those ranked games, which goes to show we had the talent to compete with those teams. We just couldn't finish the game. It's often what happens with Nebraska. We just couldn't finish games. So, anyway, in summary, Matt Rhule, no ranked wins, no double-digit win season either. He's still, in my opinion, I would say he's a pretty good coach. And here's why. I'm going to explain why. He is slowly, incrementally improving Nebraska since joining Nebraska. And also what I appreciate about Rhule is he's fixing his mistakes. Now, that being said, he has made some pretty bad hires. Sometimes he likes to do what I like to call hopeful hires. And what I mean by that is just hiring people that he hopes do good and not looking at their track record. Like, think of John Butler, Terry Braddock. And I think Brett Maher might be a hopeful hire. We'll see, though. But he has fixed his mistake. I mean, his coaching staff has evolved since he got here. That's a nice thing. I mean, he has improved our coaching staff. And I like that about Scott Frost. He refused to fire his UCF staff. And no wonder why we were so bad always with Frost. I mean, we were so hyped up about Frost, and he was absolute dog water. And I don't know how people kept being hyped up every single offseason when we literally had the same coaching staff. Like, I guess he finally got Bill Bush as special teams coordinator in his last season, but that's like the only change he made. He still, Frost did not target his errors. Same thing with Mike Riley. Mike Riley didn't even have his strength and conditioning coach have their linemen do the back squat, which is absolutely insane. No wonder I would give up 400 rushing yards to Arkansas State and what was the other team? Northern Illinois, who they upset that year in 2017. This is just kind of random information. Still, Matt Rhule, I believe, is a good coach because he's trying. He cares about Nebraska. He's passionate about Nebraska. He's not like Mike Riley or Bill Callahan that's just there to get their paycheck. They don't care about Nebraska. Solich did. They fired him. They should never have fired Solich. Pelini did. He was passionate about Nebraska, which is why he was so salty when he got fired. And Frost, I don't think he really cared too much about being at Nebraska. I think we just offered him a fat amount of money, so he came. But I think honestly, he just kind of got burned out with all the pressure, and so I think that's why when he did the onside kick against Northwestern, in my opinion, I think that's kind of him just holding the middle finger to Nebraska. That's my opinion. I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think about that. So, anyway, guys, that is it for me today. I will see you guys in the next one. And until next time, go Big Red and go Matt Rhule.